Well, hi there, and this is going to be a review of the Skif 1/35th scale BMP3, and this is it, for lack of a better word. Uh, Eastern European paint scale, green drab, dark green, black, uh, circa 1990 build. Um, First thing really to look at when reviewing this piece of machinery is the manual. It's pretty straightforward. Everything you'd expect. Uh, Nice parts inventory. Nothing really to complain about there. The build actually here, the breakdown is very well put together. Everything is very well defined and set out very well. Put it together very easily from these instructions. Lots of parts to contend with on this model. Believe it or not, I'm actually impressed by the overall price of the model, which didn't set me back more than $30 for the amount of complexity that goes into this build here. With that being said, I'm going to also go forward and say that this is actually the first armored vehicle that I ever did, and I started them last year, and I actually liked it, even though that this one was quite a challenge to put together, being the first one. I was so impressed by the challenge that it created that I have done many more since then, and we'll be getting to those in the future. But with the manual out of the way, we'll actually move to the model. And one of the greatest things about this is that it went together real well as far as the actual chassis. I didn't have to realign or do a ton of filling. The filling that I did have to do, you can't see, which is great. I mean, there's nothing worse than when you try to fill something and it doesn't work the way you want it to at all. On the other hand, moving on to the points I don't like about it, if you look at the track, the side skirts, they didn't really go together that well. They look kind of shoddy and out of proportion. I mean, I built this thing in a pretty limited amount of time, but I mean, come on now. I mean, it just did not go together real well, even with trying to synchronize it out on a flat surface once it had been glued and securing it properly. Second part is that the front fenders here, you cannot really see it here, but there's a recess down here, and that is a direct problem with the side skirts not matching up correctly with the rest of the chassis. I mean, I just got sick of dicking with it and just put the thing on there. I just wanted to be done with it after a while. But other than that, I really can't say too much about the actual build of it. It really went together very, very well. All the hatches and everything, they're very, very little filing and fitting. Going on to the interior of it here, we'll move up. And the turret comes out, and we have a nice little seeing of the inside, and you can kind of see that, you know, there's the seats in there and the ammunition drum on the bottom for the rockets and the tank gun, and ammunition in the back. Nothing too spectacular there. Look inside, down in the interior here, You can see that there's some seats for the command crew and in there. Hatch moves. One thing I do have to complain about this though is that even though it's really neat that you can take the back hatches off, you know, for the infantry to deploy. There's nice little, you know, grips in there and supports and everything. Look on the inside in here, there's nothing. I mean, there's no seats or equipment that you can put in there. The model didn't come with any. Nothing you can glue on the sides. I mean, yeah, the turret's in the way, but I mean, you're going to spend the money to put the, you know, the seats in the mold and, you know, a driver's console and stuff. I mean, how hard is it to really put some molded seats right there or something like that? I mean, come on. I mean, it's, I don't know. In my estimation, that's the poorest quality of it there, is that the interior isn't done better. But nevertheless, it's an IFV. I'm looking at the outside, not really worried about the inside. I'm not building the car here. But overall on the build, I would have to say that for the money that this was a very, very good build. I completed it in a very short amount of time, and it shows I didn't do any weathering on it or you know, any washes or anything like that. I just painted it, lacquered it, and put it on the base, and it's done. That being said, compared to some of the other Skif models I've done, this is actually of a little poorer quality than I'm used to. But as far as challenge-wise, there was a big challenge with it because not all the pieces fit together, and it made for an interesting build that got me into a genre of models that I previously had not gotten into. So with that, I would have to rate this one probably a 6 out of 10 on difficulty, probably a 7 or 8 out of 10 for fun. And I like the finished product, so there we have it. That is the Skif BMP3 review. Well, thanks for watching, and hopefully my comments helped you, and we'll see you around.